Alrighty, guys. Oh, jeez. I had a lot of shit going on today, guys. Literally just got into things here. Yep. Good. Hope you're having a good evening, chat. Good evening, Kiss, Slain, and Martian. Yep. Apparently had a lightning storm go through here today, had power go out. Then my UPS failed for whatever reason. I still don't know why it wasn't working properly. Good. Mind blown. Yep. UPS, you had one job. Yeah, no shit. So, I have a double conversion ups, which is a very expensive ups. It's not a normal ups. It's the best ups you can get. It's for medical grade equipment / military equipment. It is designed to convert from AC to DC back to AC. And remember when I got my 13900K basically a month ago? Got my 13900K, and at one point, I was doing stress tests on it, and basically overloaded my ups. After which point, Jesus Christ! I just found another problem. Like one of my switches just wasn't working. Yeah, it was on, but it needed to be manually a switch. It needed to be manually reset. I don't know what the fuck happened earlier today, guys, but holy shit. I had a switch on my network that just had to be manually reset, and that's what I just did. And now, so my cameras are working again. It was just the switch. I cycled the cameras and everything. A switch needed to be replugged. It was on and everything. It just was not functioning. I see. It must have been got a stray voltage or something came down the line. Anyways, basically a month ago, it got overloaded. Oh my god, I look like I'm fucking white as shit. That's not my color. About a month ago, I was doing stress tests on it. It overloaded the UPS. Well, it didn't overload it. Basically, if it goes above what it's configured to run it, it basically goes to bypass mode, which means basically it just feeds it directly into whatever's requesting the voltage, the wattage. The thing is, though, once it's finished, it goes back into its normal operating mode. Nothing wrong with that. That's the way it's supposed to function. Apparently, it never actually did that. It's been sitting in bypass mode for the last month or so, and I didn't know it. Yeah, because it never made a sound. It didn't do anything, and then I looked at it, and it looked like it was fucking locked up. It literally looked like it was like the front panel didn't function at all. Oh my god, my part's on my side now. There we go. I'll do one of those things so it doesn't look like I'm balding. Oh, it still looks like I'm balding, kind of. Oh. Kids don't understand how parts work, so. There you go. Angle. Anyways, I reset it, or the front panel on it was locked up. Yeah, it wouldn't respond to any inputs at all. And I spent like the fucking soft refer. I got a trip light. So the fucking soft refer, it's a pain in the ass and it wouldn't function properly. And when I even installed it, it wouldn't tell me what's wrong with it. Like, it didn't actually know. I had to basically manually power cycle the UPS to get it to basically function again. So the power went out earlier today. The UPS was in bypass mode. Everything shut off anyways because UPS bypass mode. Yeah, just out of nowhere, I just decided it was going to run in bypass mode and then not switch back. And it looked like the firmware or whatever was on it locked up. I don't know why. And still don't know why. Because I ran a bypass test on it again. I plugged something in to overload it. And it did, and then turned it off, and it went back to online mode just like it's supposed to. So, I have no fucking idea what was wrong with my UPS in the first place. Yeah, that's still a question mark. And then I spent like 3 hours trying to install software, 2 hours for it, because it wouldn't work properly. I had a bunch of dependencies and still can't figure out how to configure it and shit like that, and just... Yeah, like, I finally got installed and got information on it, and it still doesn't tell me anything. It's no different than not having the information installed, or the software installed in the first place. So, yeah, lots of fun things, guys. Just fucking weird shit. Yeah. Once again, I have a double conversion ups because throughout my tweaking journey over the last decade, at one point I considered power might be an issue, and I ended that basically discussion by getting a double conversion ups. So, I'm not actually on the main power lines. Basically, my gaming PC and my server, which is what OBS is on, and then my telecom gear. So basically, my switches and shit from my network are all on my double conversion ups. And that should remove basically any sort of transients or weird voltage spikes or anything from the lines. Because basically it's getting converted from one to the other, back to the other. So, like, it literally removes all the EMI and RFI and all that shit from the lines. So, at the end of the day, that was supposed to prevent that. And... yeah, so the last month or so where I've been testing shit, guys, I have been running in basically just straight off my outlets, and I don't know if that actually influenced anything, but yeah, I don't. So that happened. That's kind of disconcerting. It means basically the month I spent with my 13900K, no idea whether or not it was working properly or not. So, and by the way, I have good UPSs, so power supplies on both my computers, and it only does so much. No. I mean, it maybe. I don't know if the outside. I've never actually been in a power out scenario where I had to depend on my internet for a prolonged period of time, so I don't know. Even after getting my UPS. And when I was on cable, that happened, and it was most telecom places, so the little buildings they have, the distribution areas usually have a backup power supply in them that will last for, I don't know, days or something. Or they have a generator built into them. I don't know. I don't know if mine works or not. Because I've never been in... I'm on fiber now. I've been on fiber for about 2 years at this point. So, 3 years? I got it right when I started playing Dead by Daylight. Because it didn't fucking matter at that point. Oh, that pissed me off so much. It's like literally 3 months after I stopped playing first-person shooters and started playing Dead by Daylight, I got fiber. Just, ugh. That was painful. But depends on where you live and how your telecom is set up. I don't know if, since I went to fiber, I don't know if mine would actually function properly or not. All my devices would be powered, but whether or not on their end it would be powered, probably depends. Depends on how the topology is set up, so. Geez, guys, fucking day. Fucking day. I woke up into this shit. Yeah. At least it didn't freeze. If it froze, it would have been much worse, because all my cooling gear was on. So, yeah, that would have been horrible. Yep. Crazy. And like I said, I literally just had to... Hubs are something you never should need to power... Or, switches, excuse me, are something you should never need to power cycle. It's a dumb switch. It's unmanaged, meaning that it doesn't have an OS on it. It should just work, right? And something happened earlier today. It must have been some sort of transient or voltage spike that came through. And I guess it just stopped working. And that was the end of it. Like I said, I just literally just went and power cycled it out of curiosity. Because I looked at it, the lights were working, I changed ports on one of the wires I had it in, and lit back up, and just nothing was flashing through there. Power cycled it works properly now. So I don't know. Crazy. Ugh. Am I orange enough, guys? Is that how orange I was yesterday? Am I oranger than this normally? Looks pretty good. Oh, backlight comp is on. Turn that off. Good. Anyways, stuff and things and stuff, guys. It's kind of funny because this morning I was like, wow, I figured something out. Remember when I did a Q-size tweak to my keyboard and mouse? Yeah. So I have an 8,000 hertz keyboard, and I don't think it was playing properly with it because my 8,000 hertz keyboard is on 8,000 hertz. I don't think it was doing things properly. Once again, if I had a input analyzer, I'd be able to figure that out. Anyways, I turned it off and had a lot better games. I don't know if it did anything or not, or just in my brain. I don't fucking know anymore. You need UPS for your UPS? Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's a really $800 fucking ups. I bought it 4 years ago, something like that, 4 years ago. And I've had to replace the batteries in it, which I have no problems with, mind you. Yeah, and just found out it just wasn't on for the last month. Well, I've been testing out my 13900K, and now I'm on my 7950 X3D testing shit out and stuff, you know, and yeah, nope. Lifeweaver, we're going to take a look at that. Basically, there's a new hero coming out right now that's chock full of utility and shit. I don't think we're going to look at that, because I actually want to watch that. Disgusting. If you ever use a mouse on a shiny surface, it does not work well at all. Most of the time. Still waiting for 540 hertz monitor, guys. Asus has not announced anything. It's from now until basically June. Yeah. Is when it could be released. No. Don't know, guys. It was definitely, whatever happened this morning was definitely, not preordained. It was, scheduled, because it happened exactly at 12 p.m. So... was scheduled. No. Yeah, there's a bunch of streamers that have Lifeweaver videos because they got invited by Blizzard. Don't care. We'll take a look at patch notes and stuff and talk about the hero, but it looks like a very expensive light bulb. If you ever seen like an actual 100-watt LED light, guys, they're pretty incredible. Mainly because the amount of light they actually put out is insane. Okay. There's so much garbage on YouTube. I don't understand, honestly. I guess people watch Scrubs, right? People watch Scrubs. People watch Seinfeld. There's so much trash on YouTube, like you never... speaking of trash, you never actually consider watching it, right?
We're invoking the spirit of Nassim Taleb, the author of The Black Swan, to stand up and call out nonsense when you see it. Fella's been sending me this about
This is linseed
knocking
oil.
down your shop. And within 4 seconds, the fella, bit of a goof, he tells you exactly what he's up to.
This is me. After intentionally starting a fire in my wood shop.
He intentionally starts a fire in his wood shop. He's telling you that there is something untowards happening here. So we're going to go through, I'm so sick of being lied to. And fella's been forwarding me this video about oily rag, oil-soaked rags, so forth, spontaneously combusting. So we're going to go through and I will...
This is, his linseed quest. So apparently linseed oil raised can spontaneously combust.
A good scam starts off like a good joke with a grain of
Due to
truth. However, in this case...
He runs Lighthouse Boston in Boston. And this video was taken just after midnight.
This video was taken just after midnight. Listen to the sound of his voice. Look at the timestamp, 10:40. Okay, well, maybe the timestamp's wrong. The clock on the wall says 10:40. And he reiterates that it's after midnight.
That's a plastic bag full of linseed oil-soaked rags, spontaneously combusting.
Spontaneously combusting. Listen to his voice. His voice is telling you, listen to me. I'm telling the truth. It's pantomime. He's not telling the truth.
Yeah, just after midnight.
He says it again. Yeah, he's not telling the truth. Let's go and look at his buddy's shop. Well, here's his buddy's shop, professional woodworkers, and they clearly just have a procedure for for oil-soaked rags. Metal garbage bin left to dry over top, not piled in a corner. They're obviously aware of the danger, and that nook appears to be where the fire started. Now, we'll continue on. We'll be able to see. That's where they're working. That's the clock. Over here, behind this fella, is where the fire started. At midnight. Always with the Gil Bates.
You can turn off updates.
Leave me alone.
And then manually do them yourself because Microsoft took away that.
I would like to see the footage of this being put out because there's no smoke.
And the flames get bigger and bigger.
It'd be super interesting to see somebody come in and freak out.
Kind of looks like there's smoke in the ceiling.
Out. And yet, it's not in the video. I wonder why that is. For the air quotes experiment, he's using high-density polyethylene, black garbage bags, bog standard, melts at around 100 degrees. Science. Tough to spit that one out. Same with these Rubbermaid totes. They might have 11 herbs and spices proprietary blend of anti-stink and so forth because they are food safe, but they are still polyethylene, melt at about 150 degrees science.
In the course of the entire experiment, I will have 2 cameras constantly on our test subjects.
That's interesting that he'll constantly have 2 cameras running, and yet, well, we'll see. There'll be some fancy footwork in the editing suite.
6 hours.
Dun, dun, dun.
This happened. This is a real-time look at our experiment.
Where's the smoke?
Without warning, flames. You'll notice that right before the flames, I was nowhere near any of the garbage cans. I was actually across the shop.
Mm-hmm.
But all of a sudden, almost like magic, and true to its name, spontaneous combustion.
Yeah, like magic, all right. Where's the smoke? Where's the other shot? Where's the other angle?
Spontaneous combustion.
It's starting to smoke. And why is it on top of the barrel? Oh, here's the other angle. After the fact.
Oh. What?
Oh my, what? This is
what I would have guessed. This is the root.
This is so crazy that I have my hat and boots on after 6.5 hours of sitting in the shop, thumb and bum, And also, I'm all mic'd up, ready to rock and roll. Isn't that weird? You'll note there are absolutely no signs of anything melting. And also, it's at the very tippy top caught fire. You know what catches fire without smoke? Lighter fluid. Lighter fluid catches fire without smoke. How come we don't see the other angle? How come that wasn't edited in? It was distinctly left out. The other angle of it catching fire. There's two cameras rolling all the time. All right, fine. He likes to be uncomfortable, wearing a hat, inside, and boots all the time. But you'll note, this B-roll,
Luckily, I had my tin whistle out.
he is not wearing any mic. And then when he's having lunch and he's chatting, he is wearing a microphone. Now, I produce videos in the shop, and it is a pain in the cunning linguals to wear that Jesus
I'd go as staged. That being said, AVE, the guy that is making this video right now, not the guy in here, but AVE, the guy we're watching, also has a horse in the race. So I'd actually consider both candidates to not be something I would trust at the end of the day. Putting that aside, this does seem like a staged video, the guy that he's looking at right now, but AVE also kind of looks like he, probably would curtail things a little bit to fit his narrative as well. So at the end of the day, my take on it as being a third party is that neither person would be necessarily super credible. I give AVE more credit, but at the end of the day, I would also consider him to be a biased source.
Hamstringing you.
Like, I wouldn't use him as a test source at all.
You don't wear it unless you're going to talk to the camera. You just don't wear it. So, miraculously, he happens to be wearing it just as they catch fire. Miraculous. One might say spontaneous.
And true to its name, spontaneous combustion.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that actually caught on fire.
I'm not much of a poker player, but I'd be all in on a pair of sevens with this fella. That's what's known as pantomime. This is, believe me, so pantomime is essentially bad acting.
Absolutely terrifying. Holy cow.
Holy cow.
Brand new fire extinguishers, by the way.
Utterly terrified. I set this whole thing up and I didn't get a result, so my sponsor wouldn't be very happy about the low views, and neither would my pocketbook. So I set up.
If you're going to do something like this, I mean, it looks like they actually went through trouble to do this, right? You'd actually take time to read temperatures, right? Like, get a FLIR and look at the temperatures on the top and the sides. Like, I wouldn't just sit here and record the barrels, because you can make more content yourself, right? So I would record the temperature on the side of the barrels, because it makes content where you get there and you can look at even if it's a failure, it wouldn't matter, right? You could say, oh, this is a video about debunking linseed oils, catching fire instead. If you're going to go through this trouble, it doesn't matter which direction it goes. A failure is still something you can produce, right? So at the end of the day, which is what a lot of YouTubers will do, is even if they fail at whatever product they set out, they'll still turn it into a content piece because you can, right? It's science. At the end of the day, you don't always end up with something that's miraculous, but at the same time, you could put more production value. Like, it doesn't take much to get a little handgun. Those are like $20. They aren't super accurate, but you could go a step further and get like FLIR footage and put it on there, right? Over the overall thing. And you can look at the temperatures that they're changing over time and put a time lapse on there. There's a lot of really cool stuff you could do here instead of just randomly setting a fire, and still have something that people would watch, right?
For almost an hour after that, and then all of a sudden,
I quick edit to a different hangulation, and then another fire with no smoke prior. And also, this high-density polyethylene bag, what melts at
this is actually pretty true.
Science, didn't even, it's immaculately conceived. Call the Pope, it's a miracle.
Since, linseed oil isn't something that just happens instantaneously, it slowly builds up heat until it auto-ignites, essentially, which is what he's talked about right here with the rags and linseed oil. Linseed oil is popular in woodworking. There is going to be melting that's going to happen around it as it basically builds up heat, right? Because it's not just going to be instantaneous exposure, which is what you're seeing here, which is what AV is talking about. It would slowly build up heat, and then it would start melting the bag around it, too.
is the squirt of lighter fluid and the lighter prior.
This scenario is very similar to what happened in Lucas's shop.
Very similar. I would say it's probably exactly what happened. As it happens, I have the stainless steel chafing dish, what I did my own linseed cotton rag test. As you can see, got blue steel oxidized. Blue-gray oxidized. It's a little rusty there now, but that was from rags, cotton rags smoking in there. Now, cotton rags will auto-ignite at 400 degrees Celsius, and that blue-gray oxidized layer indicates that it was 375. It got up to 375 degrees Celsius. You mean to tell me that that is not gonna melt?
I mean, maybe he's aliens. Maybe they're aliens.
And why isn't he showing the start of the fire from
They're sci-fi
this
bags.
angle?
So, of all the different tests, this
Why?
one was the least surprising.
By the way, there's a lot of ways you could also do this to produce a video.
Incredibly, a second test subject catches fire, spontaneous like, and he just happens to have his microphone on and linked in to his camera.
I mean, this I don't really find fault with. The bag itself, he could have his mic sitting on his desk and just puts it on the side when this started happening, right? That's not a big deal. I don't have a problem with that. The melting is definitely an issue that I would see in this video, but the microphone I wouldn't.
Turned on. I don't know if you've ever used one of these wireless microphones. They're a pain.
Not everyone is technologically impotent as it goes.
It just so happens, magically, that he's mic'd up after 7 hours waiting in the shop. Now he's dicking around in the shop, got his t-shirt on, mic'd up. When he's just waiting around, he's got his
Oh, he does have
t-shirt
flare
on,
guns, or
no mic.
temp monitor.
But anytime he has to go outside, he's got his jacket on. Amazing how that works. 2 fires, what needed to be brought outside, he somehow miraculously had his jacket on, and the 1 fire, what got put out inside, he's in his t-shirt, but conveniently mic'd up.
And then at almost 11 hours, another can caught fire. This time it was the boiled linseed oil in just the garbage can. I'm not proud of this, but when this one caught fire, I was right in the middle of an episode of Seinfeld. So
That's incredible. He's got his mic on.
luckily,
Incredible.
one of the flames got a little
Oh,
bigger.
and
It
the
was
fire is at the very top.
What?
I was kind of starting to feel
Once again, the melting is
No
definitely.
smoke.
If you
No,
wanted to
no
make
smoke.
just a video that was
Lighter
obviously
fluid, no
fake,
smoke.
you could do this better itself. There are a lot of wireless devices where you could have an ignition source inside of it and just
I
have
wanna
something
see
that
this
burns.
shot.
Or you could have the
when
bottom
it
of the
caught
barrel
fire.
that's cut out and then put a burner in the bottom of
Why
it,
does
right,
he
and
not
remotely
show
ignite
from
it.
2 angles.
There's a lot of things you could do here.
He's got the 2 cameras running. I'm a little cynical, but you tell me. Is the guy a lying sack of shit? Or is his heart
Probably.
in the right place? He just couldn't get
I'd
the
say it's
results of the
entertainment.
experiment
He's not
he
lying,
did.
it's entertainment.
Wanted to show you.
You know, he never. I guess he did say it auto-ignited, didn't he? So
I'm a grown-up, however.
he didn't say that he didn't start them on fire, did he?
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways you can
I leave it
you
to
can
you.
shape the truth without actually being
Thanks
wrong.
for watching. Don't take any fucking wooden nickels. Keep your dick in a vice.
Good. But once again, there are multiple angles here, and I wouldn't say AV is a completely unbiased source, so take it as it goes. I think the moral of the story is literally just not to group up a bunch of linseed oils, regardless of whether or not it's safe or not. Just don't do it, and then say fuck it, which is basically what they did. They had it, as you mentioned, they had them drying on the side. Let's take a look at this. I'm curious about the B650 boards. These should be A620s, but I guess this is the low, ultra low in B650 now. A620 is the new chipset from AMD that's going to be under $100 or around $100 boards, so that's pretty good content. Yep. Let's take a look at that. We probably should check out here. Before we get into more of this, that's an old post that I haven't responded to. No patch notes? There you go. I guess they aren't on PTB or whatever yet. We'll take a look at all this after this video. We'll do one more here. Shorty.
Welcome back to Harbour Unboxed.
Thank you,
Today
Steve.
we have a very rare thing. A thing that didn't exist until about a week ago. And that thing is an AMD AM5 motherboard that doesn't cost more than most mid-range CPUs. ASRock recently let out a quiet squeaker, a $125 US B650 motherboard called the B650M-HDV/M2.
These are all fucking micro ATX. I hate this shit, guys. And then, so my video card is now 4 fucking slots, effectively 4 fucking slots. So that means I only have like 2 PCIe slots, which are the bottommost that I can actually use. Actually, I think it's technically 3. It's technically 3. But it basically starts scooting into the slot below it. So while I could put a card in there, I could technically put a card in there. It's going to obscure one of the fans. The fans seem to be complete overkill. The heatsink on my 4090 definitely seems like complete overkill. It's huge and ginormous, and that's what she said, but it actually seems like they probably could have put a smaller one on there, and it would have been fine.
Pretty
like, even, I had a card up against it, and I didn't know it prior to that, because I wasn't looking at it until I basically changed out my motherboard again. And when I was doing, like, burn-in tests on it, it wasn't really, like, heating up that much. It never reached thermal throttle. Regardless of one of the fans basically being plugged, more or less, or having limited airflow. Why do you want 2 GPUs? You can put a lot of things in expansion cards. You can put USB in there, Ethernet, sound cards, which I do have, and I have an Ethernet card as well. You can put a lot of different things in a PCIe expansion port. It's not just a GPU. So.
And unfortunately, if there's anything we know about ASRock motherboards, it's that their HDV series is complete trash.
I would never buy an ASRock motherboard ever again.
So, will this B650 version be any different? Well, we bought one to find out. But before we do, today's sponsor spot is... Video board. The cheapest offering from them was the B650 MPG Riptide at $170 US. And it's actually...
By the way, this is also what good manufacturers... This never used to be a thing. And really every motherboard manufacturer should do this. PCIe is actually technically backwards compatible with a smaller slot. You can put an X16 card in an X1 slot, but it has to be notched. And you can notch it yourself, but why they aren't all just notched in the first place, I don't fucking know. I really don't know, but they aren't. And it's different if obviously there's a clearance issue, but that's not it. There's been so many motherboards over the years where they just don't notch the slots. Notch 1Xs, 4Xs, 8Xs that technically exist, you just never see them. But 4X and 1X slots should always be notched. And they aren't. So you could technically put a video card in either of these X1 slots if you really fucking want to. But, you know, you obviously wouldn't want to.
Actually quite a solid board, but at $170,
it should all be notched. And technically there's actually PCIe X32.
Gigabyte did manage to
undercut never really took off,
with
though.
The excellent B650M DS3H at $160, and I guess that didn't sit well with ASRock. That said, Gigabyte's also quietly let out the B650MK, and that's also targeting the $125 US price point, and I have ordered one, so you can expect some coverage in the near future. So, with a target price of $125 US, the HDV is, as you might have expected, very much a bare bones motherboard. Still, while you might only be getting 2 DIMM slots, there's a PCIe 5.0 M.2 along with a second PCIe 4.0 M.2,
yep.
2 PCIe x16 slots, both of which
I bet both these motherboard manufacturers have been waiting on this for the A620 and intentionally did not release low-end motherboards so that they drove up the cost of motherboards in general. Yeah, my current motherboard was fucking expensive as shit. It's $280, and the cheaper motherboards down to $200 were shit. So here we are, and I bought a Gigabyte. I'm never doing that again. I bought a Gigabyte, and the fucking coil whine. Oh, it was terrible. It's like a siren song, just very unenjoyable too, just burrowing into my brain. Never buying Gigabyte ever again. That's done. I wouldn't say people can't buy it, but I'm not going to buy it. So
4.0 for a times 16 slash times
I don't know,
4
Slane. That's a good
configuration.
question. I also don't know that. And then if you ever try to, like, if you have a giant heatsink here and you got this retention tab, if you ever try popping this thing, it is so fucking hard to do that. Yeah, fucking crazy. My current motherboard actually has a lever that goes to the side so you can push it. It's a button you push right here to actuate it. Why? I don't fucking know, because it's technically already it's already connected to the case. I guess technically it could pivot like this, right? It could pivot and pop out. So maybe that's what it's about, and maybe it was something in testing. But this, I have to use like a short, skinny screwdriver and just push it in there between my heatsink fins and my fans. Push it in there and pop that thing. That is so difficult to do.
The I/O is very basic. There's 4 USB 2 ports, 2 USB 3.25 gigabits per second Type A ports, and a single
Not that it
USB
matters.
3.25 gigabits per second Type C port.
We have
There's
like
also a
16
bar
USB. I guess
splashback
some
button,
people do.
along with 2.5 gigabits.
Most of these motherboards, by the way, have headers, so you don't even need an expansion card slot. Most of these motherboards have headers, which means you can plug in an external bracket. You can buy the brackets, and just like you can literally like the slots that aren't being used by anything, or even right next to the graphics card. You can do that because it's just wires. And put it right next to the graphics card, and then you have like 4 or 8 more USB ports. Because almost every motherboard I've bought has had the external headers on the motherboard, and then usually a USB-C one now too, on the motherboard itself. And they're never basically used. I only plug in my front ones, and that's
LAN
it.
using a Realtek controller. So the bare essentials here for sure.
Driving up
There's
prices just
nothing
to put on an
fancy.
extra 4
And on
USB
board,
ports.
There's
Blah.
a USB 3.2 10 gigabits per second Type C header.
Right here. These are 2 USB 2 headers right here. USB 3, I don't know which these are. Said there's a USB-C header in here. Oh, this right here. There's a USB-C header. No, that's audio. There it is. There's USB-C. Yep. And these are your normal ones. And I think these are 2 or 4 ports each. I think these are 2. Just sitting there, and you can plug them in whenever you want. I think most people don't realize that. Never used headers in your life. Exactly. But they're available, and you don't really need to worry. There should be no, oh my god, I'm going to run out of USB slots, because these technically are available. I don't think most people know about these, or even that you can use these, but they exist right here on the board. And because, as it turns out, there's just USB ports that your motherboard has access to, because most chipsets have a boatload of them now, and they just don't use them. I think my 13900K had 16 USB ports on it, and only like 8 of them actually went to somewhere that was accessible. Yeah, there's maybe more than that. 24 is insane. It was absolutely absurd. It's all connected to one hub, too. Yeah, it's, on the 13900K chipset, the X790, I think it is.
But that's really as good as it gets. So no 20 gigabits per second or faster USB here. You're also getting just 4 SATA ports.
You have PCI expansion ports, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Though that's probably...
And this USB slot at this point, guys, it looks like this slot is actually just kind of pointless. The one under the motherboard or under the video card is basically pointless. It almost feels like they should take the motherboard or the PCIe slot and pop it down one, and then put one above the video card. So move the video card down one slot and still have it connected exactly the same way, and then just have a PCIe slot above the video card. That actually, on the opposite side of the video card, that's not actually a big deal. It doesn't obscure the fans at all.
Is the VRM, as this is
Vrooms.
traditionally where ASRock's HDV series of motherboards have failed miserably. The good news, though, being that ASRock lists an 8+2+1 power design for the B650 HDV, so it can't be all that bad, right? Or can it? That's probably fine. ASRock is using the Vishay SiC 654 50 amp power stages. They went with a dozen of these power stages on the B650M PG Riptide, and it performed quite well. So I think they'll get away with 8 here, but of course we will be testing that shortly. Meanwhile, the VRM heatsinks, they're not huge, certainly smaller than what we found on the Riptide, so it's going to be really interesting to see how this board handles the Ryzen 9 7950X. And speaking of which, let's get on with that. For testing, I am using the Gigabyte Aorus C500 glass case with the Gigabyte UD1000 GM power supply, and for cooling, the Gigabyte Aorus Waterforce X360mm AO. And thank you to Gigabyte for providing all of that hardware for our testing. It made the job a bit easier. Then for recording temperatures, I'm using a digital thermometer with K-type thermocouples, and I'll be reporting the rear peak PCB temperature. And finally, I'm not reporting delta T over ambient, instead I maintain a room temperature of 21 degrees, and to ensure a constant ambient temperature, a thermocouple is positioned next to the test system. As for the stress test, I am using the Ryzen 9 7950X, and for load, Cinebench, which was looped for an hour, at which point I'm reporting the maximum PCB temperature, again recorded using K-type thermocouples. Okay, so out of the box, the HDV has an 85-degree thermal limit for the CPU, which is essentially a power limit, though oddly, this limit has been set 10 degrees higher than the one found on the Riptide. Thankfully, though, in that example, the limit was completely unnecessary as the Riptide's VRM peaked at just 76 degrees, with the thermal limit removed. And for those of you unaware, the standard thermal limit, or TJ max, which is set by AMD, is 95 degrees for the Zen 4 processors, and this affords the CPU a bit more headroom when it comes to power usage. For those of you wanting to change the configuration for the HDV from 85 degrees to the standard 95 degrees, you merely need to enter the BIOS and change the TJ max. It's very quick and easy to do so. Now, despite packing 4 fewer 50 amp power stages and a smaller VRM heatsink than the Riptide, the HDV ran just 3 degrees hotter at 79 degrees. So just scraping in under 80 degrees there for the peak temperature in our testing, which is certainly an acceptable result. And this means the HDV will be able to handle the 7950X at full power in basically any environment humans can survive without having to strip down to their underwear. So that is very handy. Now, as you'd probably expect with the 85-degree thermal limit in place, the HDV is slightly slower than it would be otherwise in the Cinebench R23 multi-core test. With the out-of-the-box power limit removed though, the score was boosted by a mere 3%, and now the 7950X is performing as expected. It's really a trivial difference, and I'm not really sure why ASRock keeps releasing boards that can run at full power with an artificial limit. That said, it's really not a big deal, as I've said, given how close the performance is anyway. Just a bit of an odd choice there. Interestingly, the thermal limit did slightly reduce single-core performance, though we're only looking at a single percentage difference for this workload. And this means for lightly threaded games, there shouldn't be any real difference between the 85-degree thermal limit out of the box configuration and the
running in the thermal limiting with AMD processors is much better. It's less bad than it is with Intel. Intel throttles harder.
As for gaming,
AMD generally just kind of bumps down the frequency a little bit. And it's very smooth comparably.
With the limits removed, we went from 249 FPS to 251 FPS, which is still well down on the Gigabyte boards due to Gigabyte's more aggressive memory tuning out of the box, which results in a 5% boost here. Performance on Watch Dogs Legion is much similar between the various B650 boards, and again, the HDV performed very well, allowing for 155 FPS on average with the power limits removed. Now this is really interesting. Using our DDR5 6000CL30 memory with Expo loaded, the HDV took on average just 16 seconds to load Windows 11.
Wow.
And this is from pushing the power button to the system booting up and hitting the Windows desktop. Just 16 seconds that took. Interestingly, it was a few seconds slower using the standard out-of-the-box configuration, but overall, either configuration was very fast. And I should note that all of the comparative data featured in this video from the previously tested B650 motherboards
for people that really turn their computer on and off constantly instead of using sleep. I don't even know why you would in the first place.
All the boards have been updated yet, and the HDV is still using a GISA 1.0.0.5C, but MSI, for example, has now updated their B650 range and are claiming improved boot time. So that's something that I'll have to retest when I get time. But even so, sub 20-second load times here for the HDV is incredible. So much so that I ended up recording a little video and posted it to Twitter when I first discovered just how fast this thing could load into Windows 11 from hitting the power button. And I should just note that it might not be this fast with every memory kit on the qualified vendor list, as it was with our G-Skill DDR5 6000 memory, but even so, this result is unlike anything we've seen previously from an AM5 motherboard using this exact memory kit. So I do wonder just how much the dual memory DIMM design helps with this.
That is pretty nice, but at the same time, how often do you turn on your computer, guys?
Really good. What a time to be alive. Maybe a little past content that helped led here. Can we take full credit for it? I'm going to take full credit for it. I think the only slight bit of disappointing news here, as this board was suggested to be $125 US motherboard, so that was I believe the target price, $125 US, but at present, it's selling for more like $140 US. Could just be an early introductory price, not sure on that one, but it is still around $20 US less than the Gigabyte B650M DS3H. Still, that's quite an improvement on price, and they are similarly equipped boards. The Gigabyte B650M DS3H does offer greater flexibility when it comes to memory expansion, but with the HDV, you are getting extra stuff like PCIe 5.0 to one of the M.2s, a better PCIe configuration. So I'd say the $20 discount does make the ASRock model the more attractive option. Having said all of that though, Gigabyte's B650MK can be had for $130 right now, which is $10 less than the HDV, so I'm keen to check that one out. As for which Zen 4 processor makes sense to pair with ASRock's new ultra-affordable HDV, well, anything will work just fine as we saw, but I imagine those focusing on
620
productivity
guys.
and therefore
Why even buy the
opting for a
650 when you get the
12 or
620?
16 core Ryzen 9 part,
When the 620 is
this
going to come
board's
out.
probably not going to be all that appealing to you. You'll likely want better PCIe, M.2 and USB support, meaning $200 plus AM5 boards will be more attractive. Rather, I see the HDV being a great board for gamers, something to pair with the $230 US Ryzen 5 7600, while also having the option to upgrade in the future in the comfort of knowing that the board can handle 170 watt Ryzen processors with ease, and with multiple years of support promised, you should have a strong upgrade path ahead of you. It's probably also not a bad value board for the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D, which will be released shortly, though I'd probably suggest going for one of the AM5 boards priced closer to $200 if you're going to spend $450 US on your CPU.
Right.
The extra $60 or so buys you some nicer features that should see the platform age a bit better. Whatever
Like
the
what?
case, it's good to
PCIe
see
lanes
ASRock
age better.
B650M
PCIe lanes in a little slot
M.2
ages better than anything.
works well with
Because you
the
can
VR
plug whatever you want
so
into
to
it,
speak
as
of.
it turns out.
So big thank you to our Patreon.
PCIe slots, guys, underrated now. From every reviewer, they like talk about like little features on the board. It's all about the slot.
We're sending us a board.
You can put a lot of things in PCIe slot.
When this thing was first announced, and they told us they didn't have samples and they didn't know if they could provide a board, which usually means this thing's low end and not particularly good, and therefore we don't want to promote it, which thankfully wasn't the case this time. Anyway, to ASRock, to their credit, they did get back to me about a week ago, and so we have samples now, and we're sending a board out.
The alternative way of looking at that, by the way, is also that it's a good board, and it's just something that's a lot cheaper than their high-end, and they don't want to eating their high-end offerings, basically.
But that board,
when there's motherboards that are $400, $600, and $800, I think there's some $1,000 motherboards, which are fucking worthless. Yeah. Hey, look, guys, this motherboard that's $120 can do the same thing. Well, almost, because it's a micro ATX board, but
board hasn't arrived yet. So I purchased this one about a week before they told me they could get us a board, so we were able to get this board a bit earlier.
Even then, with like a micro ATX board, what they could do is they could use risers. They could actually have a riser bracket, so they could have a board without actually having the slots on it, and you could use a riser bracket to attach to the bottom of the cards. Well, the cards technically usually use the motherboard as stability, so I don't know if that worked really well, but yeah, make the board cheaper.
Floatplane or Patreon member and support the channel directly and get some cool perks in return. Floatplane, Patreon, links in the video description. You get access to monthly live stream with Tim and myself, behind the scenes content,
lots of
Q&As,
options,
and of course our exclusive Discord server, which is an awesome place to hang out and talk tech. But if you're not interested in any of that, that is perfectly fine. And I would like to thank you for watching this video. I'm your host, Steve. See you again next time.
Bye, Steve. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. So finally coming down, what's really going to be interesting here is the A620 motherboards, not the B650, because they're very, very cheap. So, yeah. There isn't really much to cover. I don't even know if I want to make a video on this. All right, let's take a look at the Reddits here, guys. Mainly the release footage on Lifeweaver. Yeah, A620, the lowest end motherboard hype. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, it's basically like, I don't know why they didn't release this earlier, because they just basically released the content on this guy like almost immediately too.
A little care always helps.
Don't give up. This is our fight to win.
Where's the Widow killing everyone instantly?
Being down just makes the comeback all the more exciting. Let's perk you up. You're blossoming.
Game's definitely taking on a more fantasy approach, like a MOBA, as opposed to sci-fi, which is what it originally was.
My platform is here. Hand port. Shall we do this together? Leave this to me. Life unbridled. Spend every moment growing into who you truly are.
So, a couple things I've noticed already, guys, is he has obviously a boatload of abilities and utility. Let's see. I guess we'll look at the Gamepedia, not this. This is like a concept art. This is kind of weird. Let's see. Life Weaver Wiki. Everything should be on the wiki already, hopefully. They're doing their job. It's a stub. Oh, that's not good. I saw some streamers earlier today showing off a PDF, which basically just does what the wiki does better. Because it's a PDF with all the abilities and everything already on it. He has a lot of abilities. And the weird thing is, I'm not against having complicated heroes. I love complicated heroes in MOBAs. And I have no problem with that in any way, shape, or form. The problem is, if someone has so many abilities, they can become overpowered because those abilities all do a lot of different things, and you have access to more things that can do even more things than someone otherwise can do. I know it seems kind of silly, but like, let's say you have, 2 damage abilities, and they both do 60% of the damage of someone's one ability, and all of a sudden you're doing 120% of the damage someone else is doing by pushing 2 buttons instead of 1 button. And it's entirely possible for someone to push 2 buttons instead of 1 button. Looks like the wiki's not fleshed out yet, unfortunately. Dead by Daylight wiki gets fleshed out immediately. Like, they have wiki guy, and their wiki guy just fucking hammers the shit out of that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Isn't Thailand the really controversial place with China? Is this why Blizzard actually had problems with China? I'm thinking China? No. I'm thinking Taiwan, not Thailand. I'm thinking Taiwan. Yeah. There's a really controversial relationship between China and Taiwan, so lots of tension. This is Thailand though. Thailand? Yeah. But all kind of turns into how things turn out in game. But my guess is he just has so much shit going on that he's just going to become much more powerful than everything else and basically be a default pick. League of Legends, for instance, has some very complicated heroes in it. However, they're usually balanced out in terms of performance, more or less balanced out in terms of performance with even the most basic heroes like the auto champions, people that just right click essentially. It also makes them kind of lackluster to play because it never feels like you're actually getting anywhere when you're playing them. World of Warcraft the same thing, where they basically normalize the more complicated heroes. And World of Warcraft, for instance, will perform generally about the same as uncomplicated heroes because they don't want people to feel inferior by playing a simple hero, more or less. No, it feels like when you're pushing more buttons, you should be doing more things, but that's not always the case. Sometimes they miss stuff, though, too, and you can take advantage of it. What? On death, drop a gift that heals the first person, enemy, or ally to pick it up. Healing ally 250, healing enemy 75. What? Why is it only 75 for enemies? What is that? There's a lot of different shit. Most controversial ability he has, though, is the life grip, which allows you to pull allies. Definitely be used to troll people, which I'm sure we'll never see Overwatch players ever troll anyone ever. Yeah. Not sure I am for that, but there's other games that have pull abilities too. World of Warcraft has pull abilities like the Priest, which also in Net 4, by the way. As does like League of Legends or Heroes of the Storm. You can pull allies out of Graviton Surge and Gravitic Flux. What the fuck? You can pull someone out of Zarya's ultimate with a basic ability. Hey, look, guys, a basic ability on a hero can be used to usurp on ultimate by another hero. What? This is like fucking Kiriko's Sensubin. $1,000 health. That's 15 seconds. Heals 150, 50 per pulse, 8 pulses for 400 health. You can heal a total of 550 health. On a site is blocked by terrain, but not barriers. You can dash too. Ah, hey look, guys, first in the trivia, first thing is Lifeweaver is openly pansexual. Ah. Well, that's good to know. I really wanted to know what his sexuality was. Good. Well, it's been a while since they released a new hero, and I'm more for having new heroes than no heroes at all, so. Alright, let's take a look through the Reddits here, guys. I'm not going to make a video on that. I know it's a new hero, but I honestly don't think it's actually all that interesting, to be perfectly honest. It's just something they're going to add to the game. Sounds kind of weird. I'm more interested in balancing patch notes. Because you don't really know how that guy's going to perform until you actually see him in action. So theorizing that something's going to happen besides, the light bit that I gave you just now is kind of pointless until you see how he interacts with other players in the match. You could possibly hypothesize a little bit, but... Two confirmed queer characters for the price of one. Baptiste is queer.
But I'm not invite?
I know a guy.
Is he? Reservations at a fantastic restaurant. But I'm not too sure who to invite.
I know a guy.
Is he, by any chance, a dashing ex-mercenary from the Caribbean?
He might just be.
Okay. Fun. You know, I guess that's what the kids want, so whatever. New meta is here. Christ. So there's already people being assholes with his pull ability? Isn't that great? I can't help but notice that range is insane. Yikes. And it's also true. Life grip going to be gripping Sigma away from that melody. Origin story, don't care. Yep. Gains 9% performance with optimizations. Enhanced boost mode. High efficiency mode. Enhanced mode boost. What the fuck is enhanced mode boost? $450. $350 X3D BSODs fixed with custom RAM timings. No shit. There's a lot of RAM problems right now. I'm actually not even running tuned RAM settings right now because my motherboard does not accept them and I haven't taken time to manually tweak them. Because I don't know whether or not I'm keeping it or not. So. FTPM stutter is back. You're supposed to have fixed it. Hundreds of boards, almost entirely AS rock, no FTPM stutters, and no USB issue ever. Sounds like he thoroughly tested hundreds of boards. Fuck off. I'm telling you, he probably put a bunch of motherboards in cases, didn't test them, and just used that as a baseline for his knowledge. You do Reddits. Player satisfaction survey. Don't care. Scrambled porn on cable. You'd have to be pretty young to remember that. Pretty old, excuse me. Okay. Alright guys, we're gonna play some Gamazes here. With the shitstorm of just basically shit that just happened, I don't even know. Well, we'll see what happens when I'm playing games, so. I'm not sure how this is gonna turn out. Also need to wash my coffee cup out. Alright guys, 1 second. We're back. Okay. Ready, guys. A lot of cheaters tonight? Let's find out. Last week or so has been pretty bad. See how she goes, though. Per usual. Played this morning, I had a pretty good time. Still people cheating, but I was actually performing pretty well. God, my hand is so light.
Strike from above.
Why is my mouse so bright? It's washing out everything. My exposure? Oh, I know. There we go. Better. Oh. Every time I restart my PC, guys, my camera settings just disappear. That's great. Good. Yep.
Increasing altitude. When I'm hitting my shots, you can't touch me. Double. Blasting. Forgot your parachute? Picked off. Aerial positioning underway.
Miss.
Touch the sky.
Rocket can flare right away.
I don't think so. Where's your jetpack? Double messy, but we got it done. Triple kicking through the air. Double kill. Double kill. Double. You aren't watching the skies. Scatter. Forgot your parachute? Double kill. Up and away. Mind the gap. Taken down. Dispersing.
Oh.
Going down.
Not hitting those mid-airs, guys. Ah. Good.
Strike from above. This is such a misuse of new technology.
Hey, Sunset.
Heed the plan. Divergence leads to defeat. No unnecessary risks. The world is a dream, not a dream. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commences.
Good.
Objective A. Under my protection. I knew it. What's here? Massive out. Climbing the objective. Get over here. Dispersing.
Not sure exactly why she decided to hop off the platform, but
All systems nominal. I'm getting back. Establishing aerial position. Dispersing.
yeah. Fuck off. Her fucking tank's just following me around. Need to go around the backside and kill the healer. Good.
Some air power.
Hey, it's Kiriko.
Taking to the air.
It's like you knew. Looks like he's cheating. Good.
The skies await.
You're watching me through the walls, guys, and waiting for me to get low in health and jumped at me.
Increasing altitude.
But we'll see. It's pretty rare to have a cheating Winston, but he doesn't even fucking strafe. Who the fuck is this? I literally don't give two shits about you. Fuck off, dude. This guy also looks like he's cheating. Unrelated. Good.
I don't stay down.
I guess we'll just go with our teammates. So. Not. Yeah, bye. Solo ult. Attached because I went behind the wall. And is also cheating.
All systems nominal.
Good. I didn't completely go behind the wall, guys. My chest went behind the wall and it attached her aim. Which is what we noticed there. Good. Okay.
System repaired. Focus our attack on the objective. I will not waste this opportunity.
Very accurate soldier. Yeah. That's definitely a pre-made. Good for them.
Making another approach.
Also cheating.
Help me.
She's a knower.
Thanks for the assist.
Yeah. Good job, guys. Bye.
I knew I could count on you.
I almost got instantly gibbed by the soldier. So we got 3 people cheating in here. The Anna's definitely cheating. The monkey was possibly cheating. The Anna's cheating. The soldier was cheating. Went upstairs. Dia's probably gonna jump on my back. She didn't.
Heroes never die.
Oh, that's a bad mistake. I don't know what she was thinking. I was waiting for a remech, and then she didn't even decide to remech. She's like, I'm just gonna wait on this. Min attach? Looks less accurate than earlier. I was moving very slowly there. That is the Reaper. Trying to shoot me through the wall. Should have hit X, guys. So, like, the shitty thing about that is, like, healers probably saw me die next to them, and they're like, oh, he was flying around and he died, when literally I was sitting next to them waiting for heals. But they can't see. They can't see if you are, they don't look at you, so. Trying to save him. Reaper. They trade off the Reaper and the Soldier. Vines that have hitboxes. Even in real life, your fucking missiles wouldn't detonate on vines. Had someone come and save him. The 100% a complete pre-made, mind you. Seems like multiple people in are cheating. That was a soldier.
The skies await. Aerial positioning underway.
Okay.
We must not be defeated here.
Oh.
System repaired.
She was shooting at me before I came out the fucking door. The fuck is that? I missed it. Now the McCree is very accurate and the Ash is missing. Good. Definitely looks like the Reaper and the McCree are switching off with each other. The Ash now. As far as who's cheating. Alright. Anna's definitely cheating. As was the soldier. Let's see. Use her cheat sheet. Kiriko. I don't know why she swapped it 1 second, but I suppose.
See ya.
First match of the night, guys. I'm gonna cheat squad. Good shit. That'll happen. Only time. Then Soldier 76. Guy. We're going to report the monkey as well. That might have just been coincidence, but considering what we're seeing in this group. Of course, the wrong guy. Oh, he doesn't know. Cheating. Actually, maybe it wasn't the McCree. Maybe it was just the Ash. I thought the Ash was the... Let's take a look at this real quick. Normally, let's do the monkey before I forget. Well... maybe the Ash wasn't cheating. Or not the Ash. The Ash was cheating. The Ash was the soldier, though. Let's take a look at this real quick.
Ready for battle.
McCree was also the Reaper. Definitely going on their way to focus, man. I don't know if that's intentional. I don't really care about watching the Reaper, but we're gonna look at the Reaper anyways.
60 seconds. Terminated.
Someone needs
What we're looking for? Okay. There wasn't even jets there. I don't know what the fuck he's looking at. Like, I just want to point out, guys, like, some people that are cheating, like, are so bad, like, they shoot air when you go behind walls because their aimbot, they're used to it being latched to you, and they don't even manage their accuracy. So, like, they'll shoot at the air after you disappear behind the wall because they expected it still to be attached to you. What? What do you think he's looking at here?
Sie werden dich nicht kriegen.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Ash here.
Thank you, kind.
My ultimate is charged.
Where he's trying to shoot me through the fucking wall. Oh. Maybe not. Maybe it was just Ash. He's doing something. Oh, okay. Doesn't even use his grenade right away. Hitting a lot more shots than he was earlier. Still missing a lot. He's definitely toggled now. He has some hit reg issues there. There's stuff where we're behind walls too and he's still trying to shoot you. Yeah, you literally could see him toggle on. Now he's missing shots again. Like, does this just mean there's a min lock distance? Like, look at this shit. He's literally shooting between two people. Mercy's behind the wall. Like this right here, what's going on here? Neither shooting at either of the two players there. Sometimes there's a max lock distance too. So you don't like peg people from across the map. Maybe not. Behind the wall again. Trying to shoot people behind walls. He's shooting the fucking wall. Those vines guys actually have hitboxes if you didn't know that. Which I was talking about earlier while I was in the game. Well, he actually had a kill there and he didn't actually fire. This guy looks really, really fucking bad, which makes it even less likely that he can even aim. Especially fast aims. Because he can't actually react fast enough. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's cheating. Free aim. On the Symmetra. Branches fuck with you. If you guys didn't know, I like fucking around with the tree here. The branches actually detach aimbots. Oh, excuse me. The branches will detach aimbots, and as such, just like with lamppost tech or light post tech or palm tree tech, they'll detach the aimbot. Depends on how thick they are and how close you are to them, and it can cause people to miss. A lot of misses. Hit reg misses, maybe? Yeah. Maybe he didn't... Maybe he didn't trade toggle with the other DPS, which is what I thought was going on here. I think he just toggled on. Where was it? He's at the tree. Right there. $8.14. Fucking weird, guys. It didn't look all the weird. Diamond. Gold. Oh, yeah. Plat. Diamond. This is somewhere around where you'd expect. First game of the night, 4 people in it were cheating? Yeah. I think the only person that wasn't cheating was Kiriko. But you can't tell. Because unless there's like an auto cleanse or something, healers in general, unless they do something offensive, you won't be able to figure it out. Jesus Christ. Next game. Ah. Well, let's see how our next match goes. Actually, wasn't even that terrible, all things considered. Fucking crazy. And the monkey might not have been cheating. He definitely looked like that was, on a couple occasions, that was definitely fucking rigged. As far as him, like, coming after me when I was low on health. Specifically that one in the corner there where I didn't initiate with him at all. And he came after me right when I was about to die going for the med kit. Pretty crazy shit. This is the world we live in now, guys. It's gotten worse. Where it used to be maybe like 1 or 2 per match, we're running into more and more cheat squads. Last week especially. I don't know why. End of the season's coming up. I don't think that's it, though. I mean, there are people that just play the end of the season. Maybe they're ramping up for the next season. I think people that cheat don't give that much of a shit about the game, though. Accurate Anna. Anna does not miss. Luckily we're getting heals. Yeah, Anna is very likely cheating. We'll find out.
Okay, my head's in
But more than likely.
taking off. Hi there. Hiya. Sure. Thanks for the armor.
When you can't hear a fucking Genji, guys. I do believe that people should make sound in the air at all times.
Enemy over here.
Always more to learn.
Hi. Got it.
Increasing altitude.
My ultimate charge. Looking better already. Enemy over here.
Health restored.
Genji? No. Opportunity, though. Really, I could use your healing aura. Thank you. One nice guy healing me like that.
Thanks for the offer. Messy, but we got it done. Understood.
Oh, thanks. Calm down.
Lovely.
Coming.
Uh-huh.
I'm on fire. Come on, try me. Objective A. Aerial positioning underway.
Ah. Is that the insanely accurate McCree?
Let's follow me.
My shots today feel even less accurate. I don't know what the fuck. There's a lot of shit that went on earlier this morning. This afternoon when all my power and shit went out.
Thanks for the armor. I've got you covered.
Okay.
Making another approach. Increasing altitude.
Missed. Our healers suck too. I don't. Is that one of our healers? No.
Let's show him some
I would also agree with that.
I see one.
It's tough to say that your DPS really, really sucks dick when your healers don't heal them. So. Cool. Literally just walking past the bridges just to try and WP me down. Cool.
much better.
Stand with you.
Why isn't the payload on route?
And it does not miss.
With you, my friend.
Taking off. Dispersing. Blasted. Increasing altitude.
Book that off.
I don't stay down.
Good.
Greetings.
En route.
Back in the same spot again.
Positioning. Justice rains from above. Got one.
Oh my god, I hate that bug where you shoot down to propel yourself and all it does is make you pop up in the air. Like, it doesn't inherit your momentum anymore. On their screen, it looks like I fired forward, too.
Shake it off.
I've seen that before. It actually sometimes even looks like I'm shooting like a 35 at the ground. And then when I do that, I'm fine. Cool. Bree is for some reason very accurate now when he wasn't earlier.
Repositioning.
I'm needed healing.
60 seconds remaining.
Increasing altitude.
And it's still 100% accurate. Missed. Bree is slow. He's 100% accurate now. Yeah.
Up and away.
Going for res. So it looks like the McCree is cheating as well. He was hitting maybe 1 in 4 shots earlier. Now he hits every shot. No. Good for him. And Anna was cheating the entire game. Alright.
Play of the game.
Uh... Okay. Retoggled on. Was it like last minute? Last 2 minutes of the match? For him. Next game. Holy shit. Well, you'll have that, guys. AI anti-cheat cannot come sooner. I really hope that it's probably going to still... It sounds like they're doing a pretty good job right now, but based on current models and testing, we might see something within a year. That'd be fantastic. I don't know if I'm going to be playing Overwatch in a year, though. Pretty out of control. I'd say it was about 20 shots from Anna. Maybe not. Maybe it's 18. It's tough to gauge, because 3 shots will kill you, right? That means she's like shooting at me maybe 6 times over the course of the match. Obviously, she didn't always kill me. By the way, I think I mentioned before how it seems like concussive missiles are fucked up. So some cheats actually allow you to see when people have cooldowns up and down. Like it actually displays like a mini HUD under your character where it shows your cooldowns. It does make me wonder. So if people see me firing missiles and then they see my concussive missile disappear, they'll be ready for it to hit them, even though it's very difficult to tell because one's slightly blue, and the other one's kind of orangish. So you can kind of tell them apart, but I don't think most people can differentiate that. But if they see the cooldown disappear, especially when it's flying towards them, like a head-on, when they see the cooldown disappear, they'll be ready to sidestep it or inherit the momentum to the side. So jump to the side and it'll push them a different way, rather than if they weren't moving or moving predictably. Bye. Wow, the fucking healing. Thank you. It literally just turns into shooting someone that the healers aren't shooting. I guess no one wants to kill her. It almost feels like the healer should have a HUD indicator of showing where people are in relationship to them, so they can figure out where they need to heal. Obviously, looking around matters a lot, but there are plenty of cases where it seems like healers are oblivious to me. To kind of no fault of their own, because most people are not in the air, right? But even when you're around them, they don't seem to notice when you're low on health. Maybe even an audio cue would help with that.
Always more to learn.
I mean, obviously, part of that is being a good healer, right? Jesus Christ. Part of that is being a good healer. But at the same time, it also makes you wonder how much the game should actually aid them in, kind of knowing in their vicinity where people are. Maybe, hurt noises or something? That would be another way of doing it. There you go. Hey, buddy. Uh-oh. The Baptiste killed me around the corner, guys.
Everyone feeling better?
Making another approach. On the move. I require
That was focused. Good.
all systems nominal. Repositioning.
Soldier en route.
Enemy over here. Enemy here. I've got you covered. Appreciate it.
First round. One. Score. One.
Good. Good, good, good. Good, 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 good. Farah is 100% guys cheater bait. 150% cheater bait.
You meet the basketball.
Like if someone's in the match and they have cheats available to them, unless they're really, really serious, they'll definitely toggle on.
What are you willing to lose?
It's almost guaranteed. At least from what it feels like. When I've played other characters, guys, it's not nearly as prevalent. Despite when we play Farah, it's obviously very prevalent. It's like unless you're losing, they won't toggle for the most part. Like they're losing. You need damage. They're new? Did they just get here? I didn't even notice that! Well, that would explain also why I'm getting focused, but, you know.
Dispersing.
The objective is now.
Ooh, I'm gonna shove them in a lock. Establishing aerial position. Enemy over here.
Yeah?
Watch yourself.
Got a burr in your side.
Making another approach. On the move.
Widowmaker here.
Saving them. He's also very accurate now. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
Everyone, on the objective.
Enemy over here. So bad.
No one can hide from my sight.
Excellent team. Just
Did you want my med kit? Was she trying to steal my med kit? I think she was. She didn't want me healing myself at the end. Wow.
over here.
They definitely need to speed up the ping. I've mentioned that before. Okay. Hey, buddy. I think he was trying to put out his lantern, and he put out his E instead. Where? Oh, they're trying to kill me. And Kiriko kept healing me. And our Lucio actually wasn't bad.
Justice reigns from above.
What the fuck was that? DPS. That guy had even less. What was it? He had like 500 damage after the first round. The fuck was that? They're actually pretty good. Kiriko healing a Pharah isn't necessarily super easy, and Lucio actually tried to heal me too, even though he's a Lucio. So, good for them. As I mentioned, it'd actually be, I think one of the biggest things they could do is possibly making like a healing radar for the healers. Like, you know how, Fortnite like has like sound, maybe like a healing radius, so you can see, or hurt sounds from people, so you can tell where people are in vicinity to you while being hurt. Instead of constantly making fucking healers more powerful, maybe they should try elevating healers instead of just making them super OP. I think it actually wouldn't be a terrible idea. Good. Good evening, committee. Am I doing pretty good? We got some cheaters tonight. Nothing outside the ordinary, though.
Welcome to Ishvara's.
Good stuff. There's one of the guys from earlier, so maybe he wasn't in a squad with them. It also could be someone that was... Squads can disband, guys. Getting late, no time for bed.
Stay close to me and I'll keep you safe. Stop. Hey.
5, 4, 3.
All I can hear, guys, is Bridget screaming, "Mace to the face, mace to the face, mace to the face!"
Up and away. Meet the robots. On the move.
Objective under.
30 seconds.
All systems nominal.
Keep them in.
En route.
Thank you kindly.
Taking off. Repulsion. That's all it takes.
Need healing. No. I'm gonna have to point myself out, I guess. The fucking shitty thing is, guys, yeah, you got something going on there. The shitty thing is when you actually ask for healing, because, you know, healers don't seem to notice you. Not necessarily they're intentionally doing it. Then they go, oh, this guy's asking for healing. He obviously thinks I don't heal good enough or some stupid passive-aggressive bullshit like that. Hey, ball. Bye, ball.
Come on now. Enemy here.
Turret down.
Barricade moving. Keep up.
Those are some bad ones. Let's get rid of that. I was thinking of pushing him. There's nowhere to push him. I could have pushed him under the bridge. I should have just ran away. Pushing him under the bridge would have been the right call. I was looking for a doorway or something. He's too far away from everything. Oh. Eyeball. Oh yeah? The fuck is that? Anna just headshot me, or Ash. Actually was the healer. Got. You don't fucking clean up the turret, no one does, guys. Hit Reg.
Always more to learn.
Let's make our stand.
On the move. Establishing aerial position.
Greetings.
Fuck is that?
Barricade on the move.
Got headshot
Enemy turret ahead.
by the Anna, or the Ash, excuse me, and the Anna killed me too. And the Bob. That was the headshot from the Ash, though.
Enemy turret sighted.
Enemy turret destroyed. Dispersing.
No, you're not. We got pointed out.
I am unbreakable.
Taking off.
Enemy turret going on.
Good.
Positioning.
Your team is close to taking the
Huh. See. Okay. Pretty sure the Ash is cheating.
Establishing aerial position.
What was that? Why? Did something know something better than you? Something no better? I don't know where the turret is. Can't see. I think we're gonna try magenta again. We're gonna go back to magenta for enemy colors. I don't like magenta because it's so hard on the eyes, but it definitely feels like sometimes I can't see people. So I should do that right now before I forget.
Got eyes on an enemy.
Eh.
Enemy turret sighted.
Aerial positioning underway. Repositioning.
What I really need is a new monitor. god, Anna. I guess she wanted to do it, so. Definitely sure the Ashe is cheating. I don't understand why the UE colors are available when you're dead, but not when you're alive. Like, you have to wait until the next game for them to change, but they're available in the preview. Oh my god. Did she just auto? Something going on there.
Systems nominal.
Good.
En route. Do something.
60 seconds remaining.
The moment she casts Bob, she immediately tags me.
Do something.
Like that, with a headshot, and then I die instantly. Very certain Ashe is cheating.
Let's show him some air power. Take him to the air.
Rats.
Enemy here. Form up.
Healing stream coming. 30 seconds remaining.
I will not waste this opportunity. Justice reigns from above.
Wish you could cancel your ult. It's like one of the biggest changes they could make to Pharah.
Coming off the bench.
Good, good, good.
En route. It's their last try. We've got this.
Their last try, it's our last try. What are you talking about? Good shit. Alright, so the Ashe is 100% cheating. Guy.
Play of the game.
Turning up the heat.
Now traveling to Paris.
Alright. Next game. Ah, lovely colors. I remember this. Maybe I just need to turn on ICR mode on my monitor. I don't know why. ICR mode seems to work well at first, and then it peters out. I don't know why. I don't know why it does that.
Strike from above.
That music. Could the volume be increased? You're a fan of my tune? Of course. They are delightfully distracting.
Pump up the bass. Time to roll out.
Anything that quiets the noises, the voices, anything that quiets the voices in my mind.
Hello there.
Hello.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attack commencing.
I have to remember to save my E.
Work as a team, everyone. Dispersing.
Widow.
Enemy over here.
I don't know where the Widow is. She's in front.
Taking to the air. Let's show him some air power. Taking off. Excellent teamwork. Repulsion. I see an enemy.
Uh-huh. Missed. Missed. Doesn't miss. Good. And it looks like the Sojourn's cheating.
Positioning.
Enemy vector calculated.
Enemy here.
An enemy appears.
Swish.
A threat emerges.
No. Good. What the fuck kind of aim is that? Yeah, he's definitely cheating. So what you're seeing there is, because it's a projectile, technically most one is projectiles. Shitty aimbots will do shit like that, where it'll respond with really big swings to small changes, where a normal player wouldn't do that, because they aren't moving that much. So. Didn't get rezzed.
Health restore. Aerial positioning underway.
I really could use healing right now. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe there's a guy in back. Guess I could have waited and see what happened.
All systems nominal. Taking to the air.
30 seconds remaining.
Got killed Sojourn, she's dead.
Issuing an alert. You think I don't know my own mother's tricks?
Yeah.
Objective A captured.
Good.
The payload.
Aerial positioning underway.
Also very accurate. Who's he playing earlier? Widow? He's playing Widow. No. Had to pick and choose who I was wanted to kill. And we didn't kill the Anna suit enough. Yeah, he's definitely cheating. He's pre-aiming too. Good.
I will not waste this opportunity.
Hello.
Eyes here.
Hey, we need to clear path. 60 seconds.
Up and away. Health restored. I see an enemy.
30 seconds.
Issuing an alert. This ends now.
No. I think the soldier's still cheating as well, but I don't know.
This ends now.
That guy's definitely cheating.
Over here.
The skies await.
Ahlan. I'm in.
All right. So soldier's cheating. Or not soldier, soldiering.
Play of the game.
Oh. Next game. Healer's pretty good. Oh my god! Look at that timing. Perfect.
Now arriving at Li
I intended to do that.
for battle. Select
I think our healers, which were pretty good. Next game. We got a fun group tonight, guys. Started out the evening with the cheat lobby, too. Lovely. Soldier I also think was cheating, but we didn't have enough information on him at the end there. He got very accurate comparably to the earlier in the match. He was playing Widow. Some of those Widow shots didn't look quite legit, too. So he could have been toggling on and off, or that could have just been normal accuracy. Don't know.
Just hit me in midair. How hard could it be? Hello.
Checking 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1. Capture objective.
I fucked up.
Stay away of your knees.
Echo.
Enemy here. Thanks for the assist.
I missed! I missed!
Scaling up.
How close was I? It was there, wasn't it?
Okay, my head's in the
Oh no.
on the move.
Outnumbered. They're far away.
Concussive out.
Missed.
Right by you.
I am empowered.
There is no off switch.
Splash.
That's exactly not what you do, by the way. Barely missed it again. It might be cheating.
They got us outnumbered.
Always more to learn.
Cheating echoes, by the way, are one of the most obnoxious things in the world to deal with.
I am with you.
Hey, it's kickoff.
Thanks for the assist.
I never, ever want to say I'm with you. I just want to say group up, and that's it. Yeah. Hey, let me go to the objective here.
Claiming the objective.
And sit on it.
Watch here.
Meteor strike.
They outnumber us. Keep it tight. In range of the objective.
Adaptive circuit engaged.
Taking off. Taking the point. Moving.
Doing? Did you have a sleep dart? Ah.
I see an enemy. This airspace is just
Well.
rains from above. Double.
Ah. I hope the pot G is literally of me. As literally of me taking the objective twice. I don't think it's not obviously not going to be, but I think it should be. Putting aside the seeming silly guys, it's actually really really important to get people out of the doorway.
Let's take him to the white plains.
Enemy over here.
Ooh. Oh, I just hit Q2. I needed heals. Furico panic. If I Q'd that, guys, we very possibly could have killed at least maybe 2 people, maybe 3. But it... Ah.
I'm taking the objective. Converge on me. Just rains from above.
Not gonna die with my ult. Not where we want to be. I don't know what the rest of our team's doing, guys. It literally feels like maybe I'm playing with like 1 or 2 people right now. We had a heal bot at one point. I don't know what happened to our heal bot. She just stopped healing us, I guess.
Score 0.
Good. Battery operated boyfriend.
We all have to put in the work.
Oh, a robot. Oh, wait, that is a robot. Wait, what?
Man, I'm so excited.
Alrighty. I see as though there's a difference between the teams here. I don't know what it is. Can't put my finger on it. Mercy missed the rollout. Definitely getting focus. Get anyone? No. Her friend there is cheating.
Turning to battle. Up and
We'll sit. He's angry about something. Oh, those squish sounds guys are so fucking good. Squish! Squish, do they have a... No, they do. Oh. Mercy stopped healing me for some reason. Oh. Possibly would have survived that too. I knew the Mercy was going to go for a heal, or res. Reses are fucking cracked for Mercies, guys. They will do anything for a res. To be fair, reses are actually really, really powerful. But they just changed too. A little bit faster, possibly would have been able to take advantage of that. Oh my god, I just saw the Mercy too. I want to kill the Mercy. There we go.
Heroes never die.
Good? Good. A lot of deaths, too. Well, not a lot of deaths, but, consider all things consider. What? I don't understand how people kill during the in-between screen, guys. When no one can access their controls. Do we have any console players? Console's sometimes broken. No. That's questionable. When you can actually kill people between the in-between screen. Sound like a Junker Queen. Or Junker Queen was there. I don't know who's shooting me. Doomfist? You could actually figure out who is shooting you. Figure out who is doing it. Double back initiative. Dear God, Mercy. By the way, the colors definitely help. They did before. The reason I got rid of them... Yeah, I know. Okay, he just went to the back. I thought he was going to go around to the front line. I was gonna ult there too. Oh ho ho! Oh ho! Oh. Those are some juicy. Got some juicy heals here, guys. Oh! Oh! Ah! My ult just came up too.
Let's show him some air power.
Letting you into the wasteland.
Rains from above.
Freeze! Don't move.
That was really long range, but I couldn't get in close. That was pretty good. Didn't think Soldier was gonna come around the edge.
Heroes never.
Guess they don't.
Thanks for the assist. Well deserved. Aerial position. Enemy here.
I honestly feel like, guys, if you don't think you're gonna secure a kill, I don't know. I haven't heard anyone kind of throwing it out. Also, we did fucking phenomenal this match. I'm not gonna lie, despite the first round being absolutely a shit show. And don't forget to thank your heal bot that left me on the first round over and over again. Actually, is it a different one? Yeah, on round one. Literally, game of the Pachi there, guys, on round one was me going to the point, and literally capping it and forcing him. On any map, guys, where you're getting stuck at like a choke point, go and take the objective with whatever hero you choose, like Sombra being the most obvious example. Go and take it. It forces people to double back, and if they double back alone, sometimes you can get a pick on them too, depending on how good you are. But it forces them to come back out of the choke point and allows your team to push in and sometimes even kill them while they're going, like, retreating, because not everyone's super amazing at retreating. And I've heard no other streamer mention it, top 500 or otherwise, no one talks about using that as a strat. Occasionally you'll see people do it, maybe, and I don't know if it's intentional or not, but yeah, definitely do that. That is very, very, very important. But yeah, round one, the reason we got out of that choke point was purely because I went back and double backed on the objective multiple times, twice there, before we broke out of the choke point. Pretty good round, guys. I do think my double ups, having spent a month on it, no, stop. Having spent a month on without my UPS, my double conversion UPS, I actually think it matters. Despite even games tonight with cheaters in it, we've actually done remarkably well. I'm not going to lie. Also, this Lucio is pretty good, too. Look at this. Lucio's that actually heal, guys? Lucio isn't a bad character. It just seems as though a lot of people are bad that play him. Very weird. And Lucio can actually pull off a shitload of healing, which is why he doesn't really need to be buffed at all. Despite you not normally seeing him, and when you do see him, it's usually someone just playing him as a meme, which is kind of a shame, because he's actually a really good character. But yeah, big deal. Okay, I need to take a piss, guys. I'll be back 1 second. Look at that shit. Incredible. It's almost like I'm a good player. Crazy. Now it makes me the fucking month I spent with the 13900K. I don't even know what that means. Obviously, this first night after I fix my my power supply, but my double conversion ups. Okay. Crazy. Mean. No. Like, not only do my missiles feel really crispy, it's a good way of describing them, they also feel like the AoE radius is bigger on them. Which probably means not necessarily that the radius is bigger, but there's less desync between me and whatever's happening in the game. But I'm only a fleshy meatbag, so I don't know.
Select your hero.
I see.
Strike from above.
Stick together. Let me take the hit.
So you're going with gold? Joining Overwatch?
Isn't that what you want?
What I want never should have mattered to
Yeah, I think it's only been broken for a month, but it's a big deal considering I just had the biggest change in my system in the last month compared to the last 4 years, so basically my computer is almost completely replaced at this point. My hard drive isn't, but I think my hard drive's fine, so. I wanted an Optane drive, those are too expensive. Just gonna wait for PCI 5.0 drive. What's that doing? You're not. Go for med. Bad idea. That's a horrible idea. This is literally a blender, guys. There's nothing in there that you want to be in there with when there's a Reinhardt in there. Like, in any way, shape, or form. Or a Reaper. I think a Reinhardt's even worse, because he can, like, literally swing and just spin his mouse and hits the entire room.
Thanks.
Missed.
I will not waste this opportunity.
Missed. No, he's over there. I don't know what their DPS is doing. Got. I don't know what he's doing in the back lines. No one's with him, so. Like, there's no one on the point.
Underway.
Where she went.
Issuing an alert. I am power.
Widow. Their team is too afraid to go with the Rhine. And it means the Rhine's not even doing anything. This Anna just saved me, by the way, because now the Widow can't snipe me. And trying to kill the Mercy. Backup healer Anna.
Excellent team.
How dare you kill me once?
60 seconds.
Like, the Reinhardt's there, but the Reinhardt just being there... Yeah, he just left. The Reinhardt being there doesn't matter. This is purely that Reinhardt, despite him probably thinking he's feeding, there's nothing wrong with what the Reinhardt was doing. Their team didn't follow him. Like, didn't follow him at all. I can see why he left. Like, this team has no balls. They just don't want to die. They're too afraid to die on the way to the Rhine that they just didn't do anything at all. That being said, the Rhine probably could have changed by being like Winston. Would probably have helped their team a lot. Another Rhine. Alright. Whatever this was. Good healers too. Don't forget to thank your healers. Yep. I don't think they're out yet. We aren't doing it tonight. I know it's kind of a shame because my stream's so close to release dates. Usually embargo lifts at like 10 in the morning. Or 8. 10 or 8, it depends. Central Standard Time. And we'll definitely be covering it tonight. And right now I'm actually using the 7950X3D. I don't know if you've kept up with my exploits, but it kept bugging me. It kept fucking bugging me, and the 7900X3D is basically pointless because it only has six cores with cache on them. But it kept bugging me. And I would say it's smoother, having used the 13900K, and specifically my average FPS is actually higher. Not that it really matters, because I'm getting like 600 FPS, but the game itself feels smoother. What I've ran into, however, after switching from a 13900K to a 7950X3D is my game doesn't feel as responsive. However, I think that might have had something to do with power delivery. Not my PSU, but I have double conversion ups that was misbehaving. But I plan on going over tonight. I highly suspect recommendations will be a 7800X3D with like an A620. I think would be beautiful. You spend a little bit extra to get a better processor, and then you just use the cheapest motherboard because as long as it can handle the the load from it, I don't think it matters that much. So yeah. It might have been a side grade too. I'm not sure. I still don't know how I feel about that. And definitely, if you buy a 7950X3D, you have to finagle it. You're gonna have to do some shenanigans with it.
Pre-flight checklist complete. Running clean and hot.
So, like, I have a process lasso set up and everything. Although I was doing that, I've done that for years, and yeah, well, it initially irked me. I mean, I already do it, so I've done that since my 3900X. Actually, further back than that, but mainly with my 3900X. But yeah, we'll be covering it tonight. Tonight's stream, for sure. Yeah. Well, I don't know what the... That isn't set by AMD. That is whatever the motherboard manufacturer... It's going to be like what they're rated for. But that isn't what the motherboard... They could make it like made for 500 watts if they wanted to. That's not like an AMD thing. That's purely the motherboard manufacturers. They could make a 500-watt A620 if they wanted to. Will they? I don't know. They might not want it to cannibalize their higher-end motherboard offerings, which is also always a thing. Like, there's a new, if you guys saw the hardware unbox, we watched it earlier tonight, but for the B650 that was really cheap, I highly suspect that they intentionally didn't release low-end motherboards because they want to artificially increase the prices. They artificially wanted to increase the prices of motherboards. My current motherboard... This looks like this guy's cheating. Yeah.
Shake it off.
But yeah, I mean, that's what they're rated for, but with any things you can actually just, you know, they can change the ratings if they want to. Have a better VRM cluster. And then just override whatever the set PBO is. Or set thermal limits are. Motherboard manufacturers can actually do a lot of stuff if they want to. But you have to realize there's $600 and $800 and $1,000 motherboards now. Not that you should ever buy them, but they exist, right? Viewers are pretty good. Buddy. Ow. I think I have to go after the Genji, otherwise he's going to try and fuck with me constantly. But, yeah, 65 watts by default. I don't know what the Sony 800X 3D is going to be. Ryzen in general is very efficient right now, so... Around the corner, Arissa. You know you want to. I can't get that. Got stuck. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this guy's cheating. Looks like he's locking the people behind shit, too. Good. Nothing outside the ordinary, guys. It's just games in general nowadays. Although it looks like Overwatch has gotten worse. Hey, buddy. Missed. Oh my god. That E hit me exactly when I queued, guys. I didn't even get a missile off. Yeah, he's definitely cheating.
I don't want to talk about it.
Ran into quite a few of those tonight. There we go.
Let's move. Over here.
He was purple. Christ. I know! And it was disappointing because they released all the really shit ones at the beginning too. Like, it'd be different if there's cache on both the cores on the 7950X3D and also the 7900X3D, and it didn't. So. Oh, got him. I don't think he can actually do anything over here. Yeah, he's just dead.
Touch the sky.
Hey, buddy. Might as well. Can I get out of here? Oh, nope, that's a corner. That almost got me. But yeah, I mean, I thought they're going to release with the 7000 series, and I thought it was going to release in November, and then it was supposed to be January at CES, and then here we are, like, what, February? March? Beginning of March. End of February, beginning of March. We're all right. Oh, this is good. That guy was cheating. Always weebs.
Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Fucking typos, Jesus. Bye, Ploof. Oh, he's in this game too. Do we want to dodge? I don't know. So one cheater, usually if you got a decent team and the enemy has a decent team, you can get past a singular cheater. They can't do enough. But if you get two people cheating, you're basically fucked. But then again, some people rage cheat and like there's like nothing you can do against that. That was pretty fucking close though. Oh my god. It's a macro now. But yeah, 7800 X3D I think is going to be where it's going to be for a lot of people.
Boosting your damage. I am empowered. Hello. On the move.
Oh. Having my shit register, guys, is like the best thing in the world. It was definitely, I think one of the problems was heavy was my double conversion ups, and the other one was my keyboard. But, yeah, that's pretty good. That spit sound, guys, is so attractive. Luckily, he's not looking at me. Yeah. Alright.
The skies await.
But yeah. It's kind of the shitty thing is like, I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but there is a gigabyte leak, which is supposedly like there's new chips coming out later this year, and not like refreshes either. They said it was an error. Whether or not that's true or not. Hey, buddy. Time to respawn. Yeah. I'm purple. Now I gotta go back. Wait for the purple to leave. Can we kill a Mercy? No, she left. Dude, we can. Fuck she go? Dead.
Excellent teamwork. The barricade is making progress. Stop them.
That's not good. Oh. Well, that's going on. Try and neuter their support.
I don't stay down.
Bye, Mercy. Healers. I know what Ryan's doing. I think the only option... Well, it wasn't even an option. We'd had to have gone at the Echo and maybe killed her and then went for a med kit.
Thanks for the assist. Eyes here.
Piggy's doing.
To lose the lead.
But it... Beautiful.
They are going to take the lead if we don't stop.
Barrel. Almost got 3.
Returning to battle.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I mentioned before, one of the reasons I bought this chip is like basically, I'm gonna obviously take a hit because I'm gonna sell my 3900K. But I really just wanted to feel what X3D felt like, and it does feel different. I'm not. It's not hyperbole. I was talking shit about it earlier.
Airspace is closed. Excellent teamwork.
Huh. That's interesting. Now we have a very fast and accurate Anna. Okay.
Increasing altitude. Positioning.
Good. Thank you. You know how hard it is to get anyone to compliment you ever, let alone in Overwatch? Jesus Christ, their whole team's trying to kill me. Talking a hard place.
We're pulling ahead. We have lost the lead.
Good. Bye. Ah. Hey, buddy. Wow, I think I was right at the top of his right click. Yeah, I think that just exploded inside of me.
I don't want to talk about it.
So, Roadhog's, his right click, his long range fire, turns into a shotgun blast at range, and if you are right at the point of origin when that thing explodes, it does a shitload of damage to you. If it hits you direct, prior to exploding, it doesn't do that much to you. This is a very accurate Anna now.
Okay, my head's in the game. On the move.
Enhancing your strength.
I will not waste this opportunity. Enemy over here.
Oh my god. Definitely a team effort, guys. Good.
Returning to battle.
So unlike last match, the soldier doesn't seem nearly as sticky or cheaty. What do you think she's doing over there? Thought Mercy was healing me. She wasn't. She walked past me and ran away. He was for a little bit and then walked off. Cool.
60 seconds remaining.
Like, I need to pay attention to the fucking echo, but I can't. There we go.
They're pushing the barricade right together.
I take that back. Nope, he's cheating now. Okay. Yep. So he's toggled off. Once again, we talk about banked accuracy, where basically people toggle off to build up accuracy that they can use to cheat while they're being very accurate. Guess they're all fighting down there. And Anna also is incredibly accurate. That started about halfway through the match. She got me while I was going out. Actually, no, she got me at peak.
Making another overtime. We're outnumbered. Be advised.
Really matters. Okay, so the Anna's cheating, and then also the soldier toggled on at the end. This was a match, guys, that definitely could have won. And our team literally went all over the place. I went in a couple times alone. Well, with the Mercy, and then Mercy just fucked off. This guy toggled.
Welcome.
Not again. Alright. Let's get in. The game's gonna suck me in, guys. That was pretty good. Even though we lost it, that was pretty good. Guys, definitely getting banned. Anna I also think is cheating. Halfway. That'll happen. Going gets tough, guys. You gotta show the noobs who's boss, right? Yeah, hit that F key. Hit that fucking F key. Hit it. Hit it. Hit it. Okay. But yeah, we're gonna be covering the 7800 X3D launch, which is this morning, later this morning, but we'll be covering it tonight because I don't generally stream. I'd have to stay up stream for another 6 hours, and I'm not really gonna do that. That being said, what it matters to most people, not really that big of a deal, but we'll be covering it tonight, probably from Hardware Unboxed and Gamers Nexus. We'll cover the usual outlets. I prefer Hardware Unboxed now compared to Gamers Nexus because they test a lot more games, and as such, I think their results are much more meaningful. The methodology also appears to be better, where Gamers Nexus is now more production value, where they just talk about their testing and stuff, and then test like 6 games. So I think the last one they tested 8, which is better than where they were, but it still prefer more. My guess is it's going to be a lot like the simulated 7800 or 7950 X3D results, which are not a bad thing. It's probably going to be a little bit slower, but we'll see. There's also a couple things which we covered earlier tonight, which is that you can do a couple things to tweak performance to. A couple things I haven't even done. My C states are currently off, so my processor's not boosting properly, which PBO is off because it makes things more consistent when your C states are off. It's more flatline in terms of frequency, and obviously it doesn't drop down to lower C states, and as such, go into a power saving mode, but I don't care about that. It's like you look at hardware info, it's like 65 watts, and that's not a big deal to me, so whatever. And I turned it back off to make things more consistent so I can iron things down a little bit better, but even then, my memory's not tuned. I'm set to 6,000 megahertz, but it's a 6400 kit. Not that the 4,000 matters. The 400 megahertz matters. What does matter, however, is the timings are not set up properly because the XMP and XMP2 profiles crash. It's pretty common, and I think it has a lot to do with the new chipsets, and everyone seems to be having issues with it. Just be aware, Gigabyte has better boards as far as that's concerned, but I had a lot of problems with coil whine. When I was testing my 1300K, I had to send it back because the motherboard I bought had a shitload of coil whine, and that was no bueno. I'm not doing that again. I'm not super sensitive to coil whine, but when it feels like there's a fucking high frequency burrowing into your brain, it's not really. Yeah, it's not something that is technically working. The hardware's technically working. Do I consider it working? No. Asus does not have the problem. When I swapped to that, I don't know if AMD motherboards would have that issue. The 13900K did have that issue, and it's pretty common apparently. It comes from using cheap components as well. Will it happen to all boards? I don't know. Am I going to risk it? No. So, basically, in all Asus motherboards, the good ones are more expensive. I had to spend $280 on mine, which was absurd. And I might not even keep it. Two things that are wrong with my current motherboard is as a Intel NIC, and I'd prefer a Realtek NIC. Intel NICs were having some issues. 2.5 gigabit NICs, specifically. Normally, Intel is very, very stable when it comes to accuracy or networking, but in this case, I guess not. Another one is it has a fucking USB. It has a USB sound card built in. Why? I don't know. Why? I have no idea. But they have a USB sound card that they just attached off the USB bus. And USB can cause all sorts of weird issues and hiccups, and it's not something I want to deal with. So I'm probably, even if I keep my 7950X3D, I'm probably going to send the motherboard back and get a different one. I bought this particular one because it had PCI 5.0, and supposedly had less problems, although it still has issues. So maybe it didn't even matter that I bought this motherboard. I don't fucking know. I really don't know. Like, I thought I was escaping the memory issues, and I don't think I am. Like, I think that's just all Asus boards and a lot of the motherboards right here, right now. So if we go here and take a peek, memory overclocking is a big deal for AMD. That can net you anywhere from 8 to 12% extra performance, and allegedly, a lot of people say it makes the systems more snappy. It used to just work, and I never basically played with it off, so I don't know. Let's see. OE B650. Asus ATX. A lot of the low-end offerings from Asus are pretty shit. The Prime series, the Prime on the Intel boards are pretty good. These apparently have really, really poop DRMs. Basically, you have to go up to the next level board. I looked at this board before. One of the reasons I didn't buy it is because I have a fucking 4090, which is like this, and I need basically a PCIe slot here. Or this one kind of works. Kind of works as technically a 3 slot, but it is right on top of the card. So you'd have to use a small card. Yeah, there's a lot of inaccessible slots. By the way, I don't think I needed a 4090. I think it would have been fine with a 4070 Ti, but you know, at this point, that's the one. Basically, you can look at the number of slots that are just going to be chewed up by your video card. That's another one. I mentioned before, I think they should take the PCI X16 slot and move it down one, and then put an X1 above it. Old motherboards used to do this. New ones do not. Because technically, that means this card up here would always be used, right? You could use it. But when it's below it, it blocks things like the fans. If they're right below the video card, it'll actually block the fans and reduce your cooling. So it actually helps a lot. There's like motherboard tech reviewers in general don't do a good job of talking about PCIe configuration. They're more a fan of the bells and whistles of just adding more ports to the board. I think people should be more fans of PCIe Express slots because it allows you to add whatever you want to the computer, right? You can upgrade it however you want. And a lot of these are the port configuration looks pretty good, but I heard the VRMs are terrible. It's even $270, so it's not even cheap. At this point, it's not even cheap. The Pro Art is the other one I was looking at, and I bought the gaming Wi-Fi, this one. And the reason I went with this over this is, A, it had a little bit better reviews, and the other one was it has an PCIe 4.0 graphics card slot. Do I think it really matters? Not really. Even the 4090, I don't think saturates PCIe 4.0 so at all, or even X16 3.0. I don't think anyone's done an update on that recently. And it still has a 5.0 NVMe drive slot, which really matters because that's generally where a lot of your bandwidth goes nowadays. It's not video cards. I was actually debating on getting this guy, and I didn't. Probably the motherboard I'm going to buy, because it has a Realtek NIC on it and a normal PCIe sound card. So at the end of the day, does it really matter if you're just an average Joe? Not really. It's a cheaper motherboard too, for whatever that's worth. I wouldn't bother saving $20 if I didn't find a reason to change out my current motherboard. Anyways, there aren't really good options for this, and maybe the A620, unless you want to get a micro board or get a different brand. I believe MSI has some decent ones too. Oh my God, Idwin, don't even talk to me. Don't even talk to me. We're looking at motherboards right now. You are not in control of my stream. You don't get to choose when I stop streaming. MSI is another option. I've never used MSI. MSI is another option if you're looking into it, but I've never used them. From what I understand, they make pretty good boards. That slot, this right here, is just worthless. 3X slot is going to take this up immediately. And this is going to be right on top of it. Like, this one really needs... Like, they could just put NVMe drives, like, right through here. And instead, they're like, hey, let's put it at the bottom of the board and you take up one of their useful slots. Why not do that? Yeah. Moving this guy right here and then putting an X1 over here would be a good idea, too. Or an X4. A lot of the motherboards are skimping on PCIe slots now, though. Because it's an upsell option. A lot of these are only... Like, look at this. A lot of these are only... They only give you 2 slots. Banger. That's a 3, but one of them's right under the socket. The PCI X16, which means it's going to get gobbled. There's a 2. I have one with, like, the slots at the bottom of the board. There's 2 at the bottom. They don't really... That's crazy. Gigabyte did. But once again, I've had problems. So Coilwine is not my... I think it's just a generational thing. They must have got a vendor recently that's given them some bum parts. 2. By the way, they don't even need to give you an X16 slot like this. They're technically only PCI X1s. This is all just empty pins here. Or not even pins. They're just empty. They could just give you a notch slot. I don't know why they do the X16 thing. We talked about this earlier in the stream. I don't know why, in general, they just don't give you notched X1s, because technically it's always interoperable. It's electrically interoperable with each other. They should just be notched X1s. You should never see stuff like that. But you do. Very weird. Yeah, well, the thing is, it's not about needing it. It's about you possibly needing it, right? It is future-proofing. It is... What if I want to buy a capture card? What if I want to buy a sound card? What if I want to get more USB slots? Because you can just buy a card that has a bunch of them on it, right? What if I want a RAID card? You can also use it as a breakout card for NVMe drives. You can get, like, if it supports bifurcation, you can get 4 NVMe drives on a PCI card. Or you can do without it. I think you can do 1 or 2. Yeah. There's a lot of options there, so... I think as far as usefulness goes, and it is incredibly, incredibly useful. Out of any feature on your motherboard, the things you can't really change are the VRMs, which, you have to get decent VRMs, and then the number of PCIe slots you have, because if you ever want to upgrade your cards, that's, something meaningful. And you can get a new NIC, you could get whatever you want, you can get a Wi-Fi card, you can put whatever the fuck you want in there, right? And then it's not going to charge you. If you don't use the feature, it doesn't cost you extra. Assumingly, you can get a low-end motherboard, right? Even if you don't use the slots, it doesn't cost you extra at the end of the day. Like, the whole upgradability, modularization of PCIe is very important. And they used to be filled to the brim. You could get, motherboards would have 7 slots on them, not 6. They'd have 7 on them, right? Obviously, under the graphics card now is basically a no man's land, but even then, it's like 2 or 3 slots are gone, but then they're missing the other 4, so. Let's see. There's some motherboards that only have 2 slots on them too, including the X16 slot, and that's way too little. Like 3 is like the bare minimum. What a lot of the boards have now. Weird. Looks like Gigabyte is almost exclusively 3 slots. Huh, weird. Okay. It's one of those things where you don't know you need it until you need it, so. I don't know. Anyways, guys, our games tonight were phenomenal. We had a shitload of cheaters. Don't mind that. That's status quo at this point. You can't really just say, oh, you're gonna have games without cheaters now, and maybe you'll be not observant of them. Maybe I don't want to say ignorant, but just won't notice them. Good for you if you can enjoy games and that's your life. That's the way it is. But you're just gonna run into them all the fucking time. It's very, very easy to cheat in Overwatch nowadays. All you have to do is type Overwatch cheats. Don't do that, by the way. You're better than that. Don't cheat. But all you have to do is type Overwatch cheats in, and there's ways of obscuring it, getting around hardware bans and everything. So, yeah, bad place we're in right now, but AI anti-cheat should help with that, so. But already, guys. I'm out here for this evening, guys. As I mentioned, we will be covering the 7800X3D launch tonight. It's probably going to be an awful lot like the simulated benchmarks. Yeah, nothing's out. I think it's going to be 10 a.m. Central Standard Time or 8 to 10 Central Standard Time is when the NDA drops. So, that is 4 to 6 hours away from now. Alrighty, guys. I'm out here for this evening, guys. If you are new to the stream, you enjoyed the bullshit, enjoyed the fun, you enjoyed the shit talk, and or just the cheaters, make sure to follow in the top right-hand corner. I usually stream every day from evening to late night, GMT minus 6, so 8 to 9 p.m. Even Slane's still here. 8 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time to 1 to 2 a.m. Give or take, it depends on what's going on in my life, what's happening, etc., etc. The usual, guys, yeah. I'm out here for this evening, guys. Thanks for watching my stream as always, and I hope you guys have a wonderfully fantastic Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. Have a good day, guys.